breaking tonight, President Biden is in England right now on the first leg of his first foreign trip as president. A short time ago, he boasted to an audience of Air Force personnel and some Army soldiers that he was going to let Russian leader Vladimir Putin know what he wants him to know. That tough talk will be tested during this trip as the president meets with his Russian counterpart in Switzerland. There will also be plenty of meetings with European allies dealing with climate policy, a world vaccination program, and the threat from China. White House correspondent Peter Doocy is traveling with the president. He starts us off tonight from Cornwall, England. Good evening, Peter.
Good evening, Brett. President Biden is making the first stop on his I am not Donald Trump world tour. And as he tries to move the country away from an America First agenda and towards repairing relationships with allies, he is trying to make the contrast between 46 and 45 very easy to see, like with this.
This is not a joke. You know what the Joint Chiefs told us the greatest threat facing America was? Global warming.
The group of 7 are the U.S., Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and the host, UK, where the Prime Minister hopes talk of climate is king.
Building back greener, building back better, which is why we're looking at what's going on here in Cornwall with all the green technology.
That's in line with what the American National Security Advisor has on his to-do list.
COVID, climate, China, cyber, Russia, and shaping the rules of trade and technology for the future.
This week isn't just about meeting with allies in the G7 and NATO. The U.S. is also planning to talk to Iran again about resuming the nuclear deal. The Deputy Secretary of State, Wendy Sherman, says, "I think there's been a lot of progress made, but out of my own experience, until the last detail is nailed down, and I mean nailed down, we will not know if we have an agreement." At the end of this trip, the president tends to a delicate relationship with a leader he's singled out.
So you know Vladimir Putin, you think he's a killer?
Mm-hmm. I do.
So what price must he pay?
The price he's going to pay, well, you'll see shortly.
That was about election interference. Will the president still take such a firm posture when talks turn to ransomware attacks launched by hackers inside Russia?
Who knows? It's going to be a subject of our discussion.
That's not satisfactory to Republicans back home.
You got to convince the Russians that we're on the move. You got to convince the Chinese we're on the move. And I think we're in retreat on all fronts.
The president says he doesn't want conflict, but that he'll be firm.
I'm heading to the G7, then to the NATO ministerial, and then to meet with Mr. Putin to let him know what I want him to know.
And President Biden has recently stressed the importance of vaccinating the entire world against COVID-19, but somebody's got to pay for it. And a big chunk of that is going to be paid for by U.S. taxpayers, because the president is reportedly set to announce that U.S. taxpayers will back the purchase of 500 million doses of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine to be donated to low-income countries. I just heard from a White House official who says they will have more about this for us ASAP. Brett.
You know, Peter, you've been traveling with candidate Biden, then President Biden. He was quoting the Joint Chiefs there, telling him as vice president that climate change was the biggest national security threat. Have you heard Biden say that himself in the wake of China, Russia, Iran, and everything else we're facing around the world?
Every time that he mentions that, he does hang it on somebody from the Pentagon, but we have not heard that as a unanimous Pentagon position in recent past. Right.
All right.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.